up for questions, please.
Gabe, you guys have had a couple scrimmages so far. How have you seen the progress of your offense, especially with your quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of progress. We're not holding back on the installs. To me, I'm trying to get it all in, so at least we've heard it. We've kind of went over it. We've watched some film on it. Just so now when we get back to summer, right, we can start back at the beginning. And then when we get back to fall camp, we start back at the beginning, right? So we kind of keep doing that process over and over again. Big progress, when you got a lot in and you're putting a lot on them. For me, I think the quarterback is what, is a difference between, winning a championship and not, right? You got to put good players around them, but when it comes down to it, I got to see what the quarterbacks can do. We're putting the ball in their hands. We actually attempted 86 passes in the scrimmage. It was really about 60-something, but there's about 12 times they should have handed the ball off, with the RPO stuff. So we're getting better in that stuff. But I'm putting them in some tough situations. And our defense does a great job when it comes to they're very complex. They do a lot of different stuff. So when you're putting a new offense for a quarterback. It's a lot easier when, things are pretty base and all that, but with what coaching them do on defense, man, it makes it, you're not just putting in concepts to beat them, you're trying to install the whole offense. So they're really having to understand, hey, this is where I go with the ball. This is what I'm looking at. This is what the process is, right? What the reads are. So, it's actually making them, tougher mentally because they're having to go through some growing pains, which I love. And to me, man, last 2 days have been good. We got a lot better last 2 days.
You mentioned the RPOs. What are the growing pains for the new offense?
The biggest thing is just communication, right? Everybody be on the same page, right? As a quarterback, I truly believe that you want to be able to throw the ball before people break, right? You want to trust that receiver is going to be exactly where he's supposed to be, right? So with a new offense, right, it makes quarterbacks sometimes be hesitant, right? Because you want to make sure that they're where they're supposed to be, and just understand that the process of, hey, how we call plays, what the process we are mentally when we're looking at a defense and what we're trying to get accomplished in the run game, and then obviously, hey, how fast can when we do try to take shots, right? If it's there, we hit them. We take that shot and we don't miss people when they're open, right? But when it's not there and they play the right coverage or they get us, how fast can we get rid of the ball and not have a negative play, right? Like an incompletion or a sack. Those are things right now that we're trying to get done. And to me, today was a lot better. So we're getting a lot better.
Have they adjusted the pace pretty well with their tempo?
Yeah, I think they are. Obviously, different situations, right? Like if you're playing first downs, you're going to be a lot faster, right? First and second downs, they have to understand, hey, we got to get on the ball. We got to get our eyes to the sideline and get the next play. And then obviously you have different situations in practice. Like, hey, if we're playing third downs today, you're going to be a little bit slower, right? Sometimes you're going to check into good plays, check into good protections. So, them understand like, hey, during these situations, we want to try to go fast, right? We did a really good situation I thought we did a couple days ago, which was basically, hey, we're playing third down, right? If we don't get the first down, right, we're trying to get the fourth and short and we can go for it, right? Or if you do get the first down on third down, now it's like a gas tempo play, right? We're trying to go fast. Does that make sense? And now it's 1st and 10. So our guys understand that, hey, we got the first down on third down. Now, hey, let's go fast and let's go get the defense on their heels. So, it's not just always about going fast and the tempo. It's about the players understand the situation and knowing when we're going to go fast.
Who decides when you're going to fast? You guys communicate, or do they just sense it?
Yeah, the way we teach everything is everything's fast, right? Like, because to me, I want to be able to line up fast. I want to be able to motion fast, right? I want to be able to communicate fast. Because the faster you can do with everything, the more it looks the same for the defense, right? They might be thinking we're going fast, but we're not. Makes sense? They might be thinking that, we're going to line up fast here in the red zone, but really we're about to motion. Does that make sense? So it's making them have to make their checks faster and trying to put them in a miscommunication, right, to where we get an easy throw or we get an easy handoff on a run just because they're out the box. Does that make sense? So, just understanding why we're doing things and what we're trying to get accomplished.
How have you seen Nate specifically grow over these last 3-4 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting better and better, I think, every day. The thing about Nate is he's a pro. He's in here, man, I go home to my wife and to my daughter, pretty late, and he's walking in the building to watch film, up here 2 or 3 hours a night till about 9 o'clock, He's just one of those guys that is a true leader at quarterback. He loves football. He wants to be great. He doesn't want to just be average, He doesn't just want to win, 6 or 7 games, right? He wants to go to the ACC championship. That's his goals, you know. And so he has that mentality, and you know he has that type of. The one thing I love about Nate at practice is that it's never no one else's fault. Right, I think that's what great quarterbacks are, is they take responsibility. Hey, it's on me. I got to get it fixed, right? And I think the kids see that, you know. When you got a guy back there that everything's on his shoulders and he's willing to take those responsibilities, it makes everybody else play with confidence because, you know, they know that, hey, he's the leader out there and he's going to try to, you know, the guy that everybody wants to follow on the field.
How have you seen the other quarterbacks play behind him? Guys like Christian, who didn't start last year.
Yeah, Christian, still developing when it comes to just understanding, you know, what I want, you know. For him, you know, he has a lot of talent. You know, that's what sometimes frustrating with Christian because y'all watched it at Pro Day. I mean, he can absolutely spin it, right? But, you know, he has to understand, hey, it's okay to take the ball down. It's okay to take the flats, right? It's okay to just find completions because in this system, man, when the big throws are there, they'll be there, right? And they're going to be open, right? You know, we get guys open. I think that's the biggest thing we do is, you know, we just don't throw the ball up, right? And hope our guys make a play, right? We're going to help them get open. And he just has to understand the process of what I want as the offense coordinator. And he's trying to. He's getting better, you know, and I think that's just, you know, for some quarterbacks, I truly feel it's hard when you've been through 3 or 4 different offenses, right? You're having to reprogram your reads, reprogram what an offense coordinator wants. Because when it comes down to it, when I call a play, you want the guy who's pulling the trigger to know exactly why I'm calling that play. What does Coach Bell want out of this play, right? What does he want to get accomplished? And, you know, that's the process we're in with him right now. Young guys, Eli Holstein's really taking it to another level. You know, he's gotten better and better and better. Very calm, operates very well, understands what's going on, a lot like him and Nate. And he gets the ball out of his hands. You know, he knows where to go with it. You know, he's a guy who he was a little bit behind because he had a hamstring in February, so he didn't get a lot of reps when we were doing stuff. You know, so for him, he's just got to be more, keep getting reps, just keep getting more opportunities experience-wise. And then Ty's a guy who, you know, he's still a pup, I believe. You know, when it comes to him. You know, he got hurt last year. He broke his collarbone the first week of camp. I think it really hurt him, you know, as a true freshman, right? You know, he didn't get really any reps all fall. And so he's basically like a true freshman again. So he's a guy who, you know, getting back used to the college speed, you know, really got back to throwing the ball how he needs to throw it, you know, with the injury he had with his shoulder. So we're just trying to develop him to speed up the process, right? Because he has a lot of ability. And Ty's a lot better athlete than people think. I'm trying to get him to understand that, hey, you're a really good athlete. Use it, right? You don't have to just stay in the pocket and you know, hey, get out the pocket, make plays, right? Understand that, hey, you can use your athletic ability. And then Duggar's just a baby, you know. He's basically still in high school, but he's a guy who he's always paying attention, asks good questions in meetings. And he's a guy who you see the athletic ability, you know. He just got to keep developing and speed up the process, right? The game's a lot faster at this level than for him. But he's a great kid and he wants to be good.
So you would say that Nate has a good understanding of what you want to happen in this offense with his decision making?
I would say that Nate understands the offense. Like, he's a guy who knows the offense right now. Like, if you tell him to drop the concepts, the protections, the plays, he's a pro, right? Now, does he understand exactly what I want yet? Nobody does. Does that make sense? Because it's so different. Does that make sense? Like the way we teach, the way we want to read things, the way we get the ball of our hands, right? Like, this is not a stand in there, hold on to it, you know, take sack offense. That's not who we are, right? We're going to get the ball out, you know. Yeah, we're going to take shots, and when the shots are there, right, we're going to hit them, right? We got to hit them when they're there. But when it's not, we got to understand, hey, into a blitz, where does the ball go, right? Like, understanding, I think that's the biggest thing playing quarterback is understand where your hots are at. Does that make sense? So, you know, if they do blitz us on first down, bam, we get a 4 or 5 yard gain out, 2nd and 5. Does that make sense? Instead of throwing an incompletion. So that's just with reps, understand that, hey, my hot's right here on this play. Hey, my hot's here. Does that make sense? And he just has to keep repping that and understand that.
You need an understanding that by September, right?
Oh, yeah.
They don't have it, but they need it.
Yeah. Well, that's why, you know, we talk all the time. We got 5 months, guys, right? 5 months. 5 months is a long time. That's half a year, right? Basically, right? So we got a long time to get better. You know, this is the first time, that this week that they've even seen install 5. Does that make sense? Because we really went through 1 through 4 during February, right? So this week was the first time they seen install 5. We still got 3 more to go, you know. And guess what? We'll start back in the summer at install 1, right? And then we'll go back all the way through all of them. So just understand that, hey, you know, they're going to keep learning. We're going to throw everything at them because, to me, a great offense is, you know, when you get to week 7, week 8, week 9 in the season, right, and you're competing for a championship, right, to make the ACC championship, right, you don't want to be a team that goes out there and you're doing the same things. You have this, defenses figured you out, right? You want to be able to attack people and be able to, run your whole offense when you got to go win tough games at the end of the season, right? To make the playoffs, right? Or make the championship. So that's our mentality, right? Put a lot in, see what our quarterbacks are really good at. To me, the reason that we're putting everything on Nate and putting everything on the quarterbacks because by the first game, I'm going to know what Nate's good at. With all the attempts he's had already in the first part of half of spring, shoot, man, I'm going to know who Nate is as a quarterback. And I'm going to know what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. And then it's my job after fall camp, hey, this is what Nate does well. Let's put him in a position to be successful, if that makes sense.
One more before we get to Sean. Anyone else?
You mentioned a few times about receivers and taking shots when the shots are there. Which of your receivers have shown that they can be that kind of guy who can be a deep threat, when the opportunity presents itself?
Who?
Which of your receivers? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the guys, we've had a lot of guys make plays, I think, when it comes down to it, you got guys like Tay who's playing outside now to where now he's a problem when it comes to we knew watching film that he can win versus press. He's created some big explosive plays down the field. And then obviously now, you can move him inside and move him around to where now they don't really know where he's at. Does that make sense? So he's going to create big plays. Kenny Johnson created 2 big plays today. Sincere Lee has probably caught the most deep balls on the team. He's last 2 practices, he's caught at least 3 balls over 60 yards. Raphael Williams, who's been out this week, caught 3 touchdowns in the scrimmage, and creates explosive plays. And then the young guys, you got Zion, has created some big plays. Lamar caught a deep post, which was a great catch over his shoulder yesterday. So to me, getting those young guys a lot of confidence, right? Putting them in position to go have success and to make them feel like, hey, I got a lot of room to get better, right? I have talent. Now, how do we get that talent out of them? Does that make sense? And we got to push them. We got to hold them to a high standard. We're going to hold everybody accountable to the same way. I don't care if you're the number 1 receiver or the number 12 receiver, right? We're going to hold every time to, hey, you got to go win. And when your ball's to make the play, understand that the quarterback's going to take that shot, and you got to go make a play. And so, we've created some big plays, but we just got to keep doing the little things, right? A lot of times the big plays are there because everybody's doing their job, and the receivers are understanding the depth and the timing and understanding where the ball is going to be thrown. Does that make sense? And now the quarterback don't have to wait for the receiver to break. He can just throw it to a spot and know, hey, Tay's going to be right there. I don't have to wait to see him open. Does that make sense? And so, I think we are doing that stuff.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.